We are looking at a confession that has left many Nigerians scratching their heads and wondering if we are watching a drama series or real life. Because the man who was the face and voice of the Buhari administration, the man whose very name became a meme for untruths in the minds of many young Nigerians, has finally opened up about his darkest moment. Yes, we are talking about Alhaji Lai Mohammed, the former Minister of Information and Culture. You know, the man who could look into the camera and tell you that the sun is actually a moon if the government directive said so. People often joke that his name, Lai, sounds too much like lie, and for 8 years, critics swore he was living up to that phonetic coincidence. But today, Tuesday, December 10, 2025, Uncle Lai is no joking. He has come out to reveal that the news of former President Muhammadu Buhari's death in July 2025 didn't just make him sad. It physically paralyzed him for days. We are breaking this down for you because this revelation is coming just days before the launch of his explosive new book, Headlines and Soundbites, Media Moments That Defined an Administration, which is scheduled for December 17, 2025. Now, why December 17? That would have been President Buhari's 83rd birthday, his first posthumous birthday since he passed away in London earlier this year. Lai Mohammed says he chose that date to honor his mentor, father figure, and friend. But the real gist here is the description of his reaction. He said, "I was paralyzed for days when I heard about the death of former President Muhammadu Buhari." He claimed the shock was so severe that he literally couldn't move. Now, knowing Nigerians, I know some of you are rolling your eyes in the comment section asking, is this another Lai Mohammed tale? Because let's be honest, the man has a reputation for hyperbole. But let's give him the benefit of the doubt for a second, because the bond between these two men was undeniably strong. For 8 years, Lai Mohammed was the shield. When the bullets of criticism were flying during the economic recessions, the Twitter ban, and the insecurity crisis, Lai Mohammed was the one standing in front of the press, taking the heat. He says in this new interview that Buhari was a unique leader who never micromanaged him. In fact, he revealed a stunning detail. In the entire 8 years, Buhari asked him for a favor only once. Just once. He said the president called him to deliver a paper on his behalf at the Nigerian Institute of International Affairs. That was it. No help my cousin get a contract, no fire this journalist. According to Lai, Buhari trusted him completely. This paints a picture of a president who was either extremely disciplined or, as critics will say, completely detached. But Lai Mohammed is not having any of that detached narrative. He insists that anyone who says Buhari was not in charge doesn't understand government. He claims Buhari was always in touch, in charge, and on top of his game, except when he was ill. Now, speaking of illness, we have to talk about the elephant in the room, the Jubril of Sudan rumor. Remember when Nnamdi Kanu and others swore that the real Buhari had died in 2017 and was replaced by a body double named Jubril? Lai Mohammed spent years fighting that narrative. He traveled to London, he held press conferences, he swore on his honor that the man in Aso Rock was the real deal. Now that the real death has happened in 2025, Lai Mohammed feels vindicated that the man he served was indeed the real Buhari until the very end. But the irony is that while he was fighting the fake death rumors back then with energy, the real death news in July 2025 completely knocked him out. It tells you that deep down, the emotional connection was real. But here is where the story gets really spicy, and you might want to sit down for this one. Lai Mohammed also opened up about the EndSARS protests in 2020. We all remember that period. It was chaos. The youths were angry, the streets were burning, and the government was scrambling. Lai Mohammed revealed that this was the most difficult personal moment for him and his family. He said, "My wife and children were bullied online and offline. Their businesses were boycotted. The hate was so intense that his family actually sat him down for a meeting. Yes, a full family intervention. They told him, 'Daddy, please resign. You are bringing too much heat on us.'" He admitted that he seriously considered throwing in the towel. Can you imagine? The unshakable Lai Mohammed, the man who never blinked, was almost forced to quit by his own wife and kids because the Nigerian youths were applying pressure. He said they were very unhappy because they felt he brought all the insults upon them. However, he didn't resign. Why? He says it wasn't about the money, and this is the part that will make you laugh or cry depending on your bank account balance. Lai Mohammed claimed that people assume ministers are swimming in billions, but he laughed it off. He said, "In my time, no minister earned up to 900,000 naira a month." He dropped the specific figure. His total earnings, including feeding and housing allowances, was 860,000 naira monthly. I can hear the scream from the comment section already. 860,000 naira for a home minister of the Federal Republic? Many Nigerians will find that hard to believe, given the lifestyle of our politicians. Is this another classic Lai moment, or is it technically speaking about the basic salary while ignoring the ESTA codes, the duty to allowances, and the other perks that come with the office? You decide. But he insists that becoming a minister doesn't solve all your financial problems. Let's talk about the book itself, headlines and sound bites. Lai Mohammed says this book is his attempt to correct the distorted public narratives. He believes that history will be unkind to the Buhari administration if the key actors don't tell their side of the story. He wants to document the communication battles, and boy were there battles. From the hate speech bills to the suspension of Twitter, now X, Lai Mohammed fought the media every step of the way. He says, "You may not agree with my position, but it is difficult to fault my logic or my facts." That is a bold statement from a man whose facts were often fact-checked by the entire internet and found wanting. But he argued that his loyalty was to the president and to national security. He believes that what people call lies were actually national security management. This is a convenient defense, isn't it? I didn't lie to you. I just managed the security of the truth. The timing of this revelation is also interesting. We're in December 2025. The Tinubu administration is fully settled in. The Buhari years are now history. By coming out now to humanize himself and his late boss, Lai Mohammed is trying to secure his legacy. He wants to be remembered not as the master of lies, but as the loyal servant. He describes Buhari as a good leader, mentor, and friend. He wants us to see the human side of the man who died in London in July 2025. He wants us to feel the pain he felt, but for many Nigerians who are still buying fuel at 1,200 naira per litre and remembering the hardship of the last 8 years, that sympathy might be hard to find. I really want to know what you guys think about this paralysis claim. Do you believe Lai Mohammed was truly paralyzed for days out of shock, or is this just him adding a little pepper and onions to the story to sell his new book? And what about that 860,000 naira salary claim? Do we buy that? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one, and I know you guys have no filter. Also, we have to touch on the implication of his EndSARS confession. It shows that, contrary to the "I don't care" attitude the government projected back then, the pressure was actually working. They were feeling it in their homes. Their children were feeling it. It proves that when the citizens speak with one voice, even the most stubborn leaders get shaken. Lai Mohammed might have stayed on the job, but he has admitted that the Soros-Soke generation made him sweat in his own living room. That is a victory for the Nigerian youth, even if it is a delayed one. As we approach December 17th, the launch of this book will likely bring up more controversies. We'll be looking out for chapters on the Twitter ban, the Lekki Tollgate incident, and the Naira redesign policy. Will he tell the full truth, or it will be the Lai Mohammed version of the truth? We will be here to review it page by page. Before I sign off, I need you to do something for me. If you enjoy getting the news broken down like this, with all the context and the gist behind the headlines, please smash that like button. It tells YouTube that this content is valuable. And if you are still watching and haven't subscribed, honestly, what are you waiting for? Click that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss the next update. We are growing a community of thinkers here, and we want you in the squad. So, to recap, Lai Mohammed says Buhari's death paralyzed him. He says he only earned 860,000 naira a month. He says his family wanted him to resign during EndSARS, and he says his new book will set the record straight. Whether you believe him or not, you can't deny that the man knows how to stay in the headlines. Is it the truth, or is it just lie? I guess we will find out when the book drops. Until then, stay safe, stay sharp, and don't let anybody paralyze you with fake news.